So what happened? In the hospital, the dogs went around this little dog, which is just lying helpless and lifeless on the floor, on the carpet rather, and sniffing around, and it felt it is not an interesting object, and then they just ignored him. I made up a bed for him in a warm, loose box next to the one where the other dogs slept. For 2 days, I kept an eye on him, giving him no food but plenty of water. So what did the doctor do? Doctor understood the situation of this little one, and he understood this dog is not going to manage with the other dogs. So he prepared a small warm bed for him along with the other dogs. Remember children, he did not keep this little one away from the dogs. He kept this little one, even though he has given a special bed for this dog. He kept this little dog, he left this little dog along with the other dogs. But then what did he do? Here there is an idiom, children. Look at this. Giving him, I kept an eye. What is the idiom? Kept an eye. So I kept an eye on him means I kept very close watch. Okay. I kept observing him. I observed him. For how many days he observed? For 2 days. The doctor observed this little dog. Understand? Giving him no food. Okay, so this is the starting of the treatment. He started observing this dog, looking at this dog, the movements of the dog and how it is feeling, and then went on. Meanwhile, the treatment he started. What is the treatment he is giving this little pitiful dog? He has not given any food. But what did he do? He has provided plenty of water. He gave as much as water this little tricky could drink, but nothing else. So this little dog is given a bed, provided a small loose box in which he has kept some colorful bed sheet, and the dog is sleeping all the time. At the end of the second day, he started to show some interest in his surroundings, and on the third day, he began to whimper when he heard the dogs in the yard. So for 2 days, really, the dog had taken a lot of rest, went on sleeping it was unable to even move from its place, remember, okay. But then what is the treatment the dog is getting? The dog is getting such a treatment that he is not provided with any food. The doctor is providing him only water. And that could be the reason the melting of fat within the dog's body must have come down to certain level, and slowly the dog is now able to open its eye and look at. At the end of the second day, he started to show some interest in the surroundings. Remember children, first day when the doctor brought this dog, he was not interested at all to even look at the dogs which came running towards. But now he started looking at, and then the third day what he did, began to whimper. What is the meaning of whimper, children? Make a series of low, feeble, very weak. Feeble means weak. Low, feeble, sound excessive of fear, pain, or unhappiness. It started to, in other words, groan. Started to make little bit of noise. Started to look at the dogs that are there playing in the yard. So this is the first change that is being noticed by the dog after 3 days. When I opened the door, Tricky trotted out and was immediately engulfed by Joe, the greyhound, and his friends. When I opened the door, Tricky trotted. Trotted means ran at the moderate pace with the short steps, not really rushing or jumping or anything else, but he was able to at least make some movement. Okay, he ran towards the doctor in his own pace, taking short steps out, and was immediately engulfed. Engulfed means surrounded or covered completely. He just went round the doctor. They circled round the doctor. Who are all those they? Joe, the greyhound, and his friends. These are all the little dogs that were there at the hospital. So along with these dogs, Tricky also joined them, went to the doctor to meet. It's a great uh, change that came about in Tricky's health, right? Tricky was unable to move at all. Second day, little bit of it opened its eyes. Third day, what happened? It was able to just make some little noise, of uncomfortable noise, unhappiness is able to show, and then it was able to observe also the little dogs that are roaming in the yard. Third day over. The next day, when the doctor opened his door, along with the other dogs, Tricky also went and followed him. After rolling him over and thoroughly inspecting him, the dogs moved off down the garden. Tricky followed them, rolling slightly with his surplus fat. Fat is there still, it is still fat, but then it was able to move and show some interest towards the other dogs, showing some interest to play with the dogs. And therefore, when the dogs started moving towards their playground, that garden, the Tricky also followed them. Later that day, I was present at feeding time. I watched while Tristan slopped the food into the bowl. Okay, what is happening here? You can just see the dog is given food, the other dogs, okay? And what is he doing? He is just taking the food, and what is happening in between? Meanwhile, slopped. What is the meaning of slopped? Spilled over. The food is falling around its dish. See children, for all this there is a reason why this dog has made like this, and dog is eating so fast. There are some reasons. Now I'll tell you what are the reasons why the dog is having food like that. So in the evening, the next day, doctor was observing what are these dogs doing. Okay, along with the observation for the little Tricky also. So these dogs present feeding at the time, I watched while Tristan slopped the food into the bowls. Slopped means spilled over the edge of a container. So this food is being spilled. The dogs are started eating their food, rushing like anything, as though someone is coming to eat their food. The reason is this. There was the usual headlong rush followed by the sound of high-speed eating. Every dog kept that if he fell behind the others, he was liable to have some competition for the last part of his meal. Children, this paragraph needs to be understood well. What is the author telling us? Usual headlong. Headlong means the initial step taken by the dogs. That is the meaning, headlong. Headlong rush followed by the sound of high-speed eating. The moment you provide food for these little dogs, okay, what are they doing? They rush. And they will not look at anyone, look at any other dog. Only their concentration is on their food, and they're just engulfing. Gulp down the entire food. That is what they do. What is the reason? The reason behind it is this. Suppose this dog is eating slowly and unable to finish its food before the other dogs. What will he have? What will the last dog do? This dog will have to share with other dogs whatever he has got in his bowl. That means A dog unable to complete its food will have some remaining food in its bowl and still eating slowly. But the other dogs will finish their food in their bowls and rush to this dog, and they will just take away the food. That is the meaning. Sharing of the food means that is that. Okay. Suppose this dog could not complete its meal before any other dog. The dog which completed its food will rush to this dog's bowl and will finish the food. So naturally, dogs which are hungry will definitely want to eat everything from their bowl and look if any dog has not completed, and they will go there and they will also take that food. Understood why the dogs have a headlong rush followed by the sound of high speed eating? Yes, they do that so that their food will not be shared with any other dogs. I hope I made myself clear. When they had finished, Tricky took a walk around the shining bowls, licking casually inside one or two of them. So Tricky also was given one single bowl of food and he finished his food. All the dogs also have completed their food. Now what is the Tricky doing? Tricky is going slowly walking to other bowls and just licking them. That means now after almost 5 days are over, now only this little Tricky is feeling hungry. Remember, the dog was brought from home, given no food at all for first 2 days, and it was just sleeping. Third day it showed little interest. Fourth day it joined the dogs. Fifth day it's just moving around licking the bowls of other dogs. So this is actually a very good symptom of healing taking place. Next day an extra bowl was put out for him, and I was pleased to see him jostling his way towards it. So this little dog, the Tricky, was given a bit extra food on the following day because the doctor noticed that little Tricky was not happy with the food, was not satisfied with the food that was given, and he was still hungry. He went round licking some other dog's bowls. So the doctor felt it should be provided with little extra food. So he has given him an extra bowl, and he was very happy about the change that came in this dog. What is the dog doing? Jostling his way, pushing elbow, bump against someone roughly, running towards to take its second bowl as well. From then on, his progress was rapid. He had no medicine, no medical treatment of any kind, but all day he ran about with the dogs, joining in their friendly scrimmages. Rough or confused struggle. Children, now the treatment has started. Doctor has not provided any medicine for the dog, and the little dog was kept fasting for 2 days, and third day automatically dog started looking at the other dogs, desiring. There is a desire coming into this dog, little one want to go and play with the other dogs. Okay children, so how this progress brought about in the hospital. In the next slide, we will see, on the other hand, we have not learnt anything in this particular slide about Famfrey in this video. But then background, Famfrey must be doing something, right? And what she was doing and what was the response of the doctor, and then finally how the story ended will be taken care in the next video. Thank you so much.